Since 2008, Britney Spears has been stuck in a conservatorship run by her father, which is an extreme legal measure used to take care of the extremely disabled, which is not Britney Spears. She is not disabled. Her father just wants the power to control her every single move and all of the money she has. So get ready to pay close attention, grab a snack, and wash it down with some hot tea. Today, I'm going to walk through a ton of information on Jamie Spears and why he is super problematic and an awful person to be running Britney's life. I am pulling a lot of this information from this Twitter page called Britney Hiatus. Definitely go check them out. They are doing a lot for Britney and standing up for her every single day. So appreciate that. They shared on Twitter that Jamie Spears has had issues for a very long time, including issues with drinking and getting physical. It's really not pretty, and it actually was spelled out in a book written by Britney's mom, Lynn Spears. The book is titled Through the Storm, and in this book, she talks about how Jamie Spears was not the best father, like at all. The book is pretty personal, and it talks about certain experiences with Jamie Spears and the children when he would just be having a couple drinks every single day, and at birthday parties, he was acting, and it wasn't really pretty. So very personal, and it shows that Jamie Spears maybe isn't the best person to be running Britney's life. Obviously, this type of bad behavior from the father leaves the home in turmoil, and Britney did not grow up in a happy home. There was one instance shared to the press by her uncle Willie, where he talked about how Britney's father had a little bit too much to drink and tried to grab her and take her with him in the car and run away when she was 5 years old. So obviously she has some, dark stories in her closet, and Jamie Spears is the reason for a lot of them. Jamie has admitted before that he has issues with drinking, and other people in Britney's small town have also seen Jamie act up in public doing certain things that are quite dangerous for everyone around. This didn't just go down when Britney was a child, it also happened when she was famous, and when some fans tried to ask her for an audience, her dad brought out a whoosh and tried to, get them away, which is a little bit aggressive for teenage girls trying to ask your daughter for an autograph, but you can see that Jamie Spears has some problems. Throughout the years, Jamie Spears has ruined his own reputation, whether it's him at a bar, having some drinks and then just driving home right after, even though there's tons of paparazzi watching his every move, and he's obviously not safe to drive.
Anything you want to say to all your fans out there?
There are photos of Britney and Kevin going to pick up her father from a rehab facility, that he checked into because he was struggling with substances, yet he's still the person in charge of her life. Like, please tell me why he's the one in charge. Yet on the same month that he is working with the courts to secretly get Britney Spears into a conservatorship, he shows up at her house after having a few drinks, and he has a pretty ugly encounter with the paparazzi, just to say the least. You can see he's not happy, and he's obviously not well.
I'm from In Touch magazine.
Can you guys please excuse off the premises?
Let me give you a clue. I don't talk to you.
Why don't you talk to us?
Because I'd never have talked to anybody you don't.
That's okay. I'm Eric Mitchell anyway. You don't have to be disrespectful. I would never disrespect you.
Well, you disrespected me by asking me questions.
By asking you a question is disrespectful.
Like, please tell me why that man in that video seems capable at all of running anyone's life. And he was working with Lou M. Taylor, Britney's business manager, and they believed that God was leading them down this path, literally using religion as an excuse to fortune. And they've done a lot with it since, whether it's funneling it into Lou's investment firm or anything else they're doing with it. Jamie Lynn Spears, they are all playing around with the money, and this was just the start of it. When it came to the conservatorship, Jamie had no issue signing Britney up, and on January 31st, Britney was taken in to custody by a specialist to a medical center. And I just think this is such an awful day, because it's literally the day she lost her freedom and was just like sold off into this group of corrupt people who are going to control her life for the rest of her life. That's why I'm making these videos, because I don't want them to control her life anymore. She deserves so much more than that. The day after Britney was taken into custody, Jamie Spears filed all the paperwork in court where he claimed that Britney has dementia. That's obviously a really controversial thing that we have talked about a lot on this channel, because I personally don't think she has dementia. She remembers quite a lot of things for someone who has dementia. She worked on the X Factor. She had several residency shows and tours and all of that. So I just think this excuse is bogus. There's a lot of terrible things going on at this time, but I think one of the worst things that happened, and one of the worst things in our justice system in general, is that her father, Jamie Spears, was able to organize all of this behind her back and had court approval to do so. Literally, the court said he can, organize this whole thing to have his daughter taken in, yet she doesn't have to know at all. A lot of you guys ask me sometimes, you're like, why didn't she just try to run away or, protect herself? She really couldn't, because he literally had the law, the government on his side, and they were prepared to take her in, and it was approved by the court at that time. Then when Britney went to go hire a lawyer, Mr. Adam, who was going to defend her, he was kicked out because the court did not recognize him, since she is considered someone who cannot pick attorneys for herself because she is considered extremely disabled under this conservatorship, which again is so questionable and so wrong. Like, how is your father going to lock you up in this conservatorship with the courts behind your back, and then you can't even hire someone to defend yourself? So the court picks some crappy lawyer who is never going to stand up for you and going to continue to take your money and keep you in this legal mess. Like, even talking about this right now gives me so much just anxiety and a headache, because I feel so bad for Britney. It's so clear how corrupt this all went down, yet we just, as a society, let it happen. Around this time is when that voicemail was released, where Britney was reaching out to legal firms to try to get help with what was going on in her situation. And it's honestly so sad that this just leaked to the press rather than someone actually trying to help her out.
Received January 21st at 12:29 a.m.
Hi, my name is Britney Spears. I called you earlier, but I'm calling again because I just wanted to make sure during the process of ending the conservatorship that my father several times that he'll take my children away. I just want to be guaranteed that everything will be fine with the process of you guys taking care of everything and things just being the same as far as my custodial time. That's it. Bye.
I have a feeling that Britney was set up and lied to, because she was forced into this situation without knowing what was going on, and when she's tried to get out every single time, she's unsuccessfully done so, and she's not able to break free from this trap. And I call it a trap for a reason, because her father, Jamie Spears, was trying to isolate Britney from everyone. Her cousin shared on Instagram that when Britney tried to call her back in 2008 for help, that Jamie Spears specifically told her not to answer the phone or else. And I just think that is so crazy that he literally wanted to isolate her, so she had no one to go to, and all she can do was accept her fate of being locked up for the next 12, 10, 30, however long she's going to be locked up in this mess. And her father is so joyous and so happy to watch his daughter in turmoil. Around this time in 2009, fans were questioning what was going on, because obviously it's very sketch. And when someone was trying to organize a website to bring awareness to it, obviously Britney's dad was, trying to wipe that out entirely. Honestly, I'm kind of scared for myself that he's going to try to come for me and remove all of my content. So one of you guys, I hope, are downloading every single video I have, so that one day this information isn't just wiped from the internet. Sometimes I would wonder what was going on in Britney's mind here. Like, once she was locked into this mess, did she realize she was actually being locked in? Because they were still working her so hard, and I feel like maybe she didn't realize there was too much change going on in her normal day-to-day life, because behind the scenes, with all the finance and the legal things, so much was changing. Yet she was so busy at the same time that she probably didn't know what was really going on. She was doing tours, shows, nothing really changed. They just continued to work her, but the money was just going to her father rather than to her. And while Britney is working so hard to provide us with the best music and the best content that any pop star has ever done, period, like, argue with me on that. Anyways, she was being controlled by a dictator who was making all of her dancers take tests and firing them off if he felt like they were bad influences on Britney, which obviously we want to protect Britney, but I feel like he created a toxic environment that no one ever felt comfortable or safe around Britney, that everything probably felt so fake to her, and she was never really able to break down barriers with people because her father was always watching over like a hawk. And throughout the years, obviously Jamie Spears had his scandals, like when text messages were released and Britney talked about being scared of her father and how Jamie was scared of her father and how she's scared of her children being around her father, which is like, who like is scared to have their children with their grandparent? Like, they should want to have them with them. That shows that Jamie is obviously toxic. And while I wish I could talk some more about this next little bit, I can't really say too much because, you know, YouTube is very censored, but he has also been accused of doing things to women that are obviously really tragic and horrible, and I don't doubt any of them. But things started getting really bad last year when Britney's father made up the excuse that he was having health issues and that Britney needs to cancel her residency in Las Vegas. Well, in fact, he was out and about just driving around, which is very weird for someone with health issues to do, especially when he just announced that he's got serious health issues and his daughter literally is canceling a major show. Like, doesn't add up. And this is when that iconic, and I don't mean iconic in a good way, I mean iconic, which this voicemail just gave us so much information. That voicemail was released, and in this voicemail, the man who worked with Jamie Spears talks about how Britney was being drugged, she was being put into rehab facilities, and he wasn't sick at all. He just wanted to cancel her show because she was no longer taking the medication that she was supposed to be taking. Obviously medication that wasn't making her feel good because she was hiding the fact that she wasn't taking it. She was trying not to take it, and I just like, makes me think, oh my gosh, like how messy could this be? Like, this man is literally controlling her to a T, and it makes me question whether she's still on that right now that she was trying to get off of last year.
Hi there. I cannot disclose who I am, and what is happening is disturbing to say the least. So, basically, Britney was in rehearsals for domination. It came to Jamie's attention, Jamie Spears, that Britney was not taking her as prescribed. She was missing a lot of doses and just full on not taking them. So they got her to the doctor. The doctor said, okay, if you don't want these medications, let's get you on a new one. Well, she refused to take the new one.
Again, I don't understand how this dude can control Britney's life whenever it's been confirmed in the media that Britney said her father was giving her stuff that she does not want. And I'm just like, wait, what type of court is this where they don't consider all this other evidence about how horrible Jamie Spears is to Britney? Thankfully, this is when the hashtag Free Britney movement started to pick up again, and honestly, it's been on an uprise ever since then because fans knew something corrupt was going down. Then last fall, Britney Spears' father, Jamie Spears, was removed as the main conservator from the conservatorship because he was investigated for hurting her children, which is the most I could really say on YouTube. But what kind of man, what type of grandpa has a 3-year restraining order from his grandsons? Like, I think that shows you guys how serious the situation was, that he can't even see the children for 3 years, and I'm sure they don't want to see him either. I mean, one of the sons has spoken out about Britney's father online and talked about how terrible he was. I've thought about making a video about that, but also he is a child, so I want to protect him. But I think it's a great resource when you're looking at Britney's father. I mean, like, literally the grandchildren are online talking smack about him.
Is your grandpa a jerk? Yeah, he's pretty big.
Well, as a result of Jamie Spears' awful actions and terrible behavior, obviously Britney Spears is reaping the consequences, and she loses the 50-50 custody she has with her children, which is obviously really heartbreaking for Britney. She cares so much about her children, and she's fought so hard to get custody back, and the fact that her father took that away from her would like ruin it for me. Like, I could not fade the fact that your dad literally took your children away from you because of this action, and because he runs your life, you can't disconnect from him. Clearly, with all this evidence, Jamie Spears should not be controlling Britney's life at all, and I think this dude needs to be kicked out of the conservatorship. He is toxic to his family, and he is extremely toxic to Britney Spears. We need to put Britney's safety first, we need to put her wellness first, and we need to get Jamie Spears out of this conservatorship. If Britney really needs a conservatorship and needs people to be running her life, Jamie Spears does not need to be one of them. He needs to be kicked out because he's obviously really toxic and he's only caused trouble for Britney in this whole mess. If you guys want to support Britney, you can obviously tweet out Free Britney and tweet about it online, but you can also go to the in-person rally on August 19th at the Stanley Moss Courthouse at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, and that's going to be a really important day because that is Britney's next court hearing. Obviously, I will keep you guys informed on everything that happens until then, and we will be covering the entire court case and what goes down. This video is part of a series where I'm going to break down every single person that is involved in Britney's legal mess, the corrupt crew, and I'm going to talk about why they are wrong and why they shouldn't be involved. And this one was from Jamie Spears. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a PO box I recently got, so if you want to send me something, send it on over. And I also want to mention, I was thinking about doing a video of like some past things on Britney. Like if you look at some of her songs, like I'm a for you and like Overprotected and things like that, I feel like you can kind of see what is going on in her life. And I feel like going through all of her old songs and albums and just her content like this would be really cool to look at all of the messages that she has sent to us in hindsight. So if you guys want to see that video, please let me know down in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Free Britney. Bye.